Hello, guys of United Rock Nations. We are an amazing company with Parker and Leo of Wings of Steel. How are you?
Doing great, sir.
So, here we are, of course, to talk about Wings of Steel. It's a new band for us in France. We don't know so much about the band. And we also talk about the European tour. It's coming in a few days. So, how is your feeling about what is happening in Europe?
I think we've been positively overwhelmed by the response so far. We've only played two festivals so far, No Playback Festival and Keep It True, both here in Germany. And the response, like I said, was quite overwhelming, really. We didn't really know how we would be coming out here because, much like you, perhaps, you may have heard about the name, maybe not heard the song. So we weren't sure how we would be received, but turned out great.
Yeah, I mean, we were at both these festivals. We were the first band to play the day, and we first started playing. There's like a few people, but then by the time we're hit the second, third song, it's like the whole hall is like filled out, and we're like, where did all these people come from? Holy shit! So, yeah, it's been great. It's fucking awesome.
Fantastic. So here in France, we haven't seen yet the band. So what can we expect from your shows? What is a Wings of Steel show like?
Oh,
Good question. Good
it's a
question.
great question. It's so good that it's hard to answer. I think what you get is you get a very dynamic set. It's hard, it's all hard rock, heavy metal,
Of
but there
course.
are there are parts, bits and pieces in our music that is definitely beyond the scope of just those genres. And the way we kind of put it together is something that you actually do have to experience in order to put words to it. It's quite difficult to explain it, you
I,
know?
I I would say this because we've only at this up till this point right here right now we've only played five shows as Wings of Steel,
Mm.
and most people know us from our music and our studio recordings, and we're
Exactly.
very proud of those, and we're completely happy, and we 100% stand behind it. But if you want to really experience the band and feel the energy and feel the sound and really experience what we're all about, come see us live. That's what I would say.
Fantastic. So let's talk, of course, about the, the album also Gates of Twilight. It's your first full-length album. Tell us more about the way you write the songs in the band. Who bring the main ideas?
So Gates of Twilight, it's funny, we write all the music out near LA, out in
Where
California.
we live, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
So last record was written in 10 weeks, pretty much. And so both me and Parker, we have our ideas, we bring them to the table, but it's not really until we sit down and we go through them that it ultimately becomes Wings of Steel. So I think it's 100% a collaborative effort throughout all songs. And yeah, the process so far has been really clean, really simple, and highly enjoyable as well. And I think you can really tell when we hit the stage too, because I
Hmm.
think the way you've written the songs, if it comes from a good place, it will project once
It
played.
translates very
Yeah,
well
yeah,
live. I'll say, Leo and I both individually were constantly coming up with riffs and ideas and melodies and stuff like that. And so pretty much when we go to write, usually we start off as like, I go, hey man, check out this tasty riff, and he goes, okay, that's great, but change this to this, and I go, and then we fight, and then we get it, and then and then it turns into a song after a couple hours. But sometimes it's we're just sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, I got this. This is cool." Then he's like, "Oh, that's cool." And then it grows very organically. So pretty much what we do is we write out all the instruments. We record pretty much everything ourselves, and then we write the drums, and then we have the drummer come in and play it. But yeah, that's pretty much how our process
So,
works in a nutshell.
so it's a collective way to work. You all together in the same room.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much us too.
yeah. It's us two writing everything.
Okay, so let's talk about the lyrics. Leo, what are your favorite topics you talk about on the songs?
I think what I try to do lyrically is I try to write stuff that everyone can kind of latch onto and define their own meaning behind it. Because I tend to write a lot about contrasts, a lot about good and evil and the relationship between the two and everything in between. It's up for you to kind of finish the painting of what's being told, right? Because I think we can all agree and disagree on things. So ultimately, the songs are about what you think they are about. I'm just kind of allowing you to go down that avenue with me.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say too. It's. I mean, the music it comes from the same place in a sense, but it's there's a lot of depth to it, and you can choose to see it at whatever depth that you would like to see it at. And that's the most important thing. I mean, for me personally, everybody, the song is it's always a tough question when people ask us like, what's this one song about? Like, what's
Yes,
in the
absolutely,
and
absolutely,
the truth is that it's really it's about whatever it means to you. Even though I mean it might start, oh, we were writing a story about this one thing or whatever, or we wanted to say something about this topic, but I mean, really at the end of the day, it's whatever, however you connect with it, that's what it means.
absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about some songs of the album. I selected 3 songs that I want to talk about. The first one is Garden of Eden. It's probably, it's, that's my opinion, of course, the darker song of the album, um, comparing to the others, of course. It sounds like a Black Sabbath song. Tell us more about it.
Yeah. So in writing that song, again, 100% it was a collaborative kind of effort
Hmm.
because we both came up with different melodies that ended up in the same song.
Yeah, like we had like I had like a little demo. It had like the kind of the slow tempo, something a similar version of the riff. I had part of the melody in there, but it was kind of lackluster. So we sat down together and we kind of structured it out. But I mean, yeah, we just wanted to do something really fucking slow and really fucking heavy. I mean, we love Sabbath, we love Dio, we love all this stuff, man. So and I also too with Leo's voice is that I feel like that kind of a song and that kind of a sonic environment gave him a good opportunity to kind of go through the range of his voice, just not all up here the whole time, but it flows around.
Hmm.
And it's definitely a big dynamic curve in our catalog. Um,
Yeah, I think it's, if we're talking lyrics, it's about what is, dancing in the Garden of Eden. What does that mean to you, right? Because you can interpret it a lot of different ways. You can say this
Absolutely.
song is very evil, very dark. You could also say quite the opposite, depending on how you choose to interpret it, right?
mhm.
Absolutely. So we just talk about Sabbath, Dio. What are your main influences?
What you just mentioned, a pretty big one there. We both love Sabbath, not just Dio era, but Sabbath as a band.
Tony
Um,
Martin era,
Tony Martin era is
don't
great.
forget it, man.
No,
Um,
well, I think one band that always needs to be mentioned is kind of the first band we bonded over when we first met is a band called Blue Murder, uh,
Okay.
which kind of deep cut band, but absolutely brilliant.
I mean, there's a lot of bands that we love, and they kind of all make their way into our music. So it's tough for us to just pick like one or a short number of bands. But I mean, yeah, definitely a lot of Dio, a lot of Blue Murder, White Snake, Sabbath, Priest, Deep
Rainbow.
Purple, Rainbow. Yeah. I mean, I could just go and name a bunch of bands for you if you want. Those are some
uh,
big ones at least, but.
one of our favorite song of the album is She Cries. It's an amazing ballad. Tell us more about that song also. It's a classic because in all heavy metal albums there's a ballad.
Mhm.
So tell us more about that song, She Cries.
Yeah, I think
It was the ninth song that we wrote
it
on
was
the
the
album,
ninth
actually.
song
Yeah.
that we wrote.
Garden of
Absolutely.
Eden was the third, and it's the third on the album. So,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I remember that as a starting place, we wanted a ballad that kind of kicks into something faster. I think that's all we kind of knew going into it.
hmm
So we then, we started writing whatever melodies that would happen. And as Parker's
hmm
sitting there playing guitar, I'm kind of humming. And I think that's when we kind of came across the chorus, which was then recorded on this little device here. And then it kind of just grew from
hmm
there. And then of course when musically when it's all done, I sit down with the lyrics and write what musically it tells me.
hmm
um but yeah, we also love that song. Something happens when we play that live, for
hmm
sure. You feel the energy in, well, all the venues so far that we've played it. Something really happens. I think people connect with it, and they can feel the pain behind it. And then
I think a lot of people have kind of I mean it kind of goes through a storyline lyrically, and I think a lot of people can actually like relate to that and have been in a similar situation. But yeah, I mean that's another cool song too, because we're talking about our writing process earlier. That one was just, I'm just sitting down playing some, no previous thing, whatever. And so, oh, okay, and then it turned into what it is today. But and it's a lot of fun to play too, because I mean a lot of my influences is a lot of Iron Maiden and Lizzie and I love guitar harmonies, man, and that
Yes.
song is just full of them. So yeah.
Great. So the last song I want to talk about is the last song of the album. It's Into the Sun. It's a very enigmatic song because between pop, rock, progressive rock, and heavy metal. Tell us more about that song. It's a different song from the others.
Well, okay. Do you want?
Oh yeah. So that song was a journey, because it actually that main melody that you hear kind of being played in the beginning, and as like kind of like the chorus in there or whatever, that was like Leo had come up with like this goofy like keyboard melody like 2 3 years a while ago.
Yeah.
And it was sent, but I remember him playing. I was like, damn, dude, that melody is fucking awesome. So when he was away, and so I was just sitting there, with my computer, and I kind of instrumented out, laid out a thing, and then I was like, dude, this tune needs to be on the next album. So it kind of,
Yeah.
then we got together and we ironed it out into what it is now. But it's also cool. It's dynamic. It's very slow. It has a lot of clean guitars. It almost has like a reggae or like a kind of interesting feel in the verse. But
It's cool because I feel like what that song does is it really paints out the journey. You feel like you're actually you're going somewhere, and then let's not even talk about the solo. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous.
I
It's
love
one
I
of,
love playing that solo, man.
I must
It's so
say,
much fun.
for me, all things aside, it's one of the best solos that I've heard in recent
Oh.
years. Sure. So it's definitely.
Thank you, man.
Of course, man.
Yeah. I love playing it. And there's a very if you come, I mean, I'll just spoil it. Fuck it. If you come see us, if you see any of our headline shows, you'll be hearing that song live. So
I will be there the 16th in Paris. I will be there to the 16th to see you in Paris.
all right, we'll see you there, man.
So
Awesome. That's great.
So a last word for our French fans. What can
We
you say?
are beyond excited to finally meet our French fans, heavy metal fans, man. It's really cool. We've been seeing such a huge following starting to develop coming out of France. And the hype around the Paris show and the Lille show that we're going to be doing,
Exactly.
it's just growing, and we're hearing so many positive things, and we cannot wait to get out there in the flesh and thank you in the form of our music being performed the way it should be.
Be there, man, because if you're not there this time, all your friends are going to tell you about it, and you're going to have to come the next time anyway. So,
but then the tickets will be more expensive. They're cheap. They're very cheap tickets. Yeah.
But we will be there, of course. So thank you very much for all these informations about the band, about the songs, about the new album. We hope you the best, and of course, I will be there in a few days. It's now in 1 week. You will be in France, and we will be there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, Paris 16th, Lille the 17th. We look forward to meeting you all and meeting you as well, Mark.
This is Parker.
And Leo.
And you're listening to United Rock Nations.
Thank you very much, and see you in Paris.
See you soon.
See you, man.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.